fellas.
Hold on, Jafar, before you start, are you recording from church?
Nah, I just finished burning my sage since I was in my Kyrie moment. You feel me? I was walking around here trying to get the mood right.
Not the podcast mood.
Yeah.
Leon Phelps, the ladies' man.
It's Leon Phelps, the ladies' man.
The ladies' man. I got my Cavatier.
Nah, we chilling. We keeping it clean. Fellas.
Yeah.
Unbiased Sports Talk time, man. How y'all doing tonight, fellas?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm good. Want to introduce, a guest appearance from my man James tonight. Got Maul, Coach Mills, always the regs. But thanks for coming out, bro. I'd love to have you on.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Hey, appreciate you being here, fellas. Tonight, our topic. Wow, this one. So everybody is aware of the vaccine mandates, and the mandates that were in states like New York and California, where the players could not play in their sporting arenas. With that being said, you were definitely aware of the debate about Kyrie Irving's not being vaccinated and not being able to play at home games. I would like to know your thoughts on, do you think it was very convenient that the vaccine mandate was lifted right around baseball time, or just your thoughts, period, on the vaccine and how much did baseball play?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. The guest got to go first.
Okay. I mean, shit, I'm not scared like you, Ron. I seen you.
Shots fired. Blah, 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 blah.
Why we pick this topic tonight? We should have picked something different, just off that bullshit out of his mouth right there.
No, I like it.
No. All right. So can I go, can it be a deep dive, or you just want me to give you like a?
No, give me
what you got, brother.
Give me what you got, so, and then enough to not have your ammunition to come back to.
A couple of thoughts, like when this topic came up. First, you guys see that they were talking about the Sixers versus the Raptors game this weekend, and a certain player is not playing, Matisse Thybulle, and the reason I forgot what reason they gave, but it's clear that he's not vaccinated, and you can't play if you're not vaccinated in Toronto, right? So he's been playing all year, right? And the only issue that I have with the mandate in the first place is the fact that opposing team players can go into Brooklyn and play. You just can't play at home. That's stupid to me. If you can't play there, if you're home, you can't come there either, like how Toronto's doing. And if that was the case, Kyrie wouldn't have all the shit that he's getting this whole time. Like Matisse Thybulle would have got it too. You get what I'm saying? So shit pissing me off. Other than that, like I understand, like I'm vaccinated, my whole fam's vaccinated. I don't have an issue with somebody who's not vaccinated anymore. Like nobody's gonna really like give too much shits about it in like another year whenever the shit is over.
Agree.
That's it.
Wrong. Who you want to go? I mean, y'all not about to argue over who goes second, man.
No. I was about to just jump in. To be honest, in this past year, there's always been an occurrence of convenient timing in sports. Look, I don't want to deep dive in all this. Like, look at Deshaun Watson. His trouble came when his contract thing was coming up. Like, is he going to leave or not? All this trouble happened. But right now, we're talking about baseball and a sport that's already pretty much spread out more than 6 feet anyway, unless you're a batter or on base. But to go off his point, I do agree that some of these rules are bass backwards, and they already had expiration dates to begin with. Like even workplaces right now, people are lifting mask mandates inside buildings. So all of these things had an expiration date, but it wasn't expressed to the public when that date was. So if it was already an expressed end date in mind, we wouldn't have this discussion really to fall back on. Unlike, today we were lifting the mandate. It's expired. If somebody maybe had went into deep dive and posted all these things, it'd be more understandable. But most times you go into these arenas, there's no mask to begin with. there's no that needed vaccine cards. New York has been on a crackdown amongst all these things. Like some restaurants don't even let you without a vaccine card in New York. So it's not like they just singled out Kyrie as a person, but it is messed up how somebody opposing can come in there and play, but a star of the team can't play. That's just weird to me. And
how do you feel about the fact that Kyrie hasn't been able to play all season, but your stars in the baseball teams, which are like Aaron Judge and a couple of other your main heavy hitters, are not vaccinated? Which they have. They have like the Mets and the Yankees have like 1 and 2 playoff odds or championship odds to win the whole thing, and they play Toronto, I think, in their division, right? So knowing that they can't probably play there and they can't play at home, this is, I know some people might feel this has something to do with it's a black thing. This is a money thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a money thing, but also
which stems down to where does the money come from? Follow the money, and you obviously know where it stems from. But
of course,
to James' point, first, the mandate itself was very inconsistent. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for someone who's not vaccinated, who's out of town, to come in, but Kyrie couldn't. But Kyrie could come in and watch the game, but now the ushers and the employees now the vaccine is lifted off of them, but Kyrie can't. It was not consistent. And I felt like the only reason that Kyrie is able to play is because of baseball. Now, I don't think he should be grateful, but he should understand that 11 million that they might generate for the economy if they make the playoffs is huge.
Yeah. I mean, the local area always appreciates when the team is doing well. Look at Cleveland. They almost didn't survive without LeBron. Them bars and businesses right outside of there when he left almost went out of business.
I get it. You would think you would want the Nets to do well also and have Kyrie home.
Of course. Of course. I mean, but like the Nets have always been the second market team in that area. Regardless how many rebrands they do.
I'm a Knicks fan.
I'm saying, like,
I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm a Knicks fan, and they've been like the third market team in that area since Kobe came to the league.
I'm talking about just in baseball. I mean, basketball. I mean, like people think of New York Knicks before they think of Brooklyn Nets.
No, you're right. They sell the most. They generate something like top 2 or 3 revenue for the NBA teams,
which is crazy.
And because Knicks fans are the most diehard fans you will ever find in your life.
It's like you got to at some point you got to say, you know what, fuck this team until Dolan's gone.
Yeah, they just say F Dolan because they know
it's the same thing in Washington with the Snyder.
As a Knicks fan, we are getting sidetracked, and this is a whole nother topic. I would love to have this. We can. And I didn't say you didn't say anything wrong. I just want you to know I don't disagree yet, but. Don't want to get sidetracked on our point tonight, but I agree with both what y'all just said. Now, Ron, are you on mute?
No, not on mute.
Jump in, Joe. Let's go. Tell me how you feel.
They lifted the shit because baseball's here. I don't need to go all deep how y'all did. Baseball's around the corner.
But how you feel about that?
I'm indifferent about it because they never really buckled down. They're going hard on Kyrie about, getting vaccinated, but I witnessed him come to games without a mask on.
They got fined for him being in the locker room, I think like $50K.
Yeah, that was it. Because he went to the locker room. He was fine just sitting courtside. As soon as he went to the locker room.
What's the difference?
The workplace environment. You're not supposed to go into the workplace.
Isn't the stadium the workplace?
Yeah.
Yes, but no, because you have all the other people there too.
Well, I don't understand.
Hold on. Let me mute you.
Hold on.
Yeah, I wish it was some other topic tonight, and then it's bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's bullshit.
I mean,
it is because it don't make no sense.
Down the middle, regardless. It doesn't make sense if you're paying attention, but it comes down always to the bottom dollar.
Well,
Like if you've been in the arena in the past year, I doubt you wore a mask. Or if you wore a mask, you were in the 2% that wore masks. Like I went to a Maryland game this year. I might have been like the only person that walked in there with a mask on, and then I feel like I got dirty looks. Like, why you got a mask on?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going to a Maryland game?
oh,
Hey,
Somebody invited me. I had tickets.
Hey, relax.
Hey.
And I want to see Tua, little brother.
Relax,
I wanna
Ron.
see-
what
I wanna
college? What
see-
colleges you support around here, bro?
Not Maryland.
What?
Give me one then. Georgetown, Maryland. Oh, you?
Well, hold on.
You're like an American university guy.
I'm a Hokies fan, so.
I said around.
What happened in bowl
I
games?
said around here.
Whoop that ass, boy.
That ain't nowhere near here.
Anyways, continue, Bob.
Where you from, bro?
What you getting pressed on your own podcast?
Did you see his body language?
So
Calm down.
He tensed up like he a Vermont stay.
So, all right, this is the one thing I don't like about this topic, which is a couple layers down underneath. The fact that we've been harassing basketball and NFL players about that being vaccinated. We've been stressing them out, bubbles, all this stuff. But nobody's talking about baseball players and the percentages of them being vaccinated. And I don't want to hear because they play outdoors. Football players play outdoors too, and baseball players play indoors.
I got a question.
It's less contact with baseball than it is football.
I want to add something too.
That can be one argument. Like I said, mainly they're throwing the ball. Of course, everybody touches the ball. That can be a thing. They can switch the ball out per pitch if they really wanted to. If you want to be, really antsy about it. And then, like I said, it's spaced out.
Remember when we talked about this in the beginning with the pitcher touching the ball and
pitchers and nasty. They look their hand,
hey,
the ball, get different
pause.
grips. That's it.
Just want to make sure we're careful. What we're saying right now, just want to make sure we're careful.
That's it. Pitchers will lick their hand and they'll grab the ball to throw a different kind of pitch. Like that's how they get different grips on the ball. But they can switch the ball out per pitch. Like literally, like an umpire, like a whole bunch of them right there. So that's like just germs going back and forth. We're gonna talk about germs, of course, but that's a whole other thing. They're spitting on the grass all day anyway. People play baseball. I play baseball. That's what happens.
I got a question. And this is me really not knowing. Does baseball drug test for weed?
More than likely.
I don't know. I think their main focus is PEDs.
Yeah.
But all right.
Like each sport have different protocol. Like
yeah.
But you
NBA
see
players,
how
all right.
Like NBA don't expose their players like the NFL would.
You brought up baseball, right?
Slavery.
All right. So looking at baseball, right? Do you remember what happened in the last World Series that the Dodgers won? Did anybody watch the World Series? All right. So COVID was around at that time, right? Mm-hmm. And Justin Turner from the Dodgers tested positive for COVID during the game. They pulled him out the game. They won the World Series in that game. He came out and celebrated with the team after they won while he had COVID with no mask. Like, so the outrage for that was about like a day and a half. And then like the next story comes up. And then baseball wasn't in the light of the media world like basketball was for a long time. And then the time that they were talking about it, it was the fact that, hey, there's a lockout right now. We might not have baseball. And then it's like, nobody gave a shit about like if players are vaccinated because it's like, I don't even know who these guys are outside of the field. And they might not even play this year. You got players like, you know what? I'm gonna be a FIFA player, or I'm gonna play 2K like on Twitch. Like that's all they were doing at that time. So like nobody really cared. And then you got Kyrie taking up all the news, and then once somebody picks it up, they're just gonna run with it. So that's why like I feel like there wasn't the same level of coverage between baseball and basketball. And then like you said before, there's a shit ton more baseball players, and then like however many basketball players, and then you got one that's as good as Kyrie, and then he's not playing, and then you get Stephen A. Smith talking about it, and then once he starts yelling about something, everybody watch. ESPN's like, oh, ratings. Let's talk about it again tomorrow. Same shit with like Aaron Rodgers.
Wasn't the same conversation as long as Kyrie's, but
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true.
They highlighted Kyrie all season.
Yeah.
And he didn't even lie.
No, that's true. I mean, but then you look at the team, like they were supposed to be like the number one contender in the East. And it's like, yeah, they're playing for the playing game now. But, like, because they didn't have their number one star. Because
but it's messed up because both of these teams in this area are going into the off season with odds of probably winning a chip. But baseball is the one that gets away with the less vaccinated players. And all of a sudden rules change to benefit this sport. Now,
I think it was
I'm not going to say what Ron said, but it's like, I mean, it's bias. There's a bias there. There's a huge bias.
I think it was the timing too. Like baseball was out for a minute. Like it's about to start up now. So I mean,
it sounds convenient. There's no clear-cut evidence that says this is why it happened. But I mean, come on, man. It's just we are really smart enough to understand how things work when you just make it very convenient. And it's not even convenient. Let's be real. The Yankees and the Mets pressed out that mayor, Eric Adams.
Oh yeah.
They pressed him out. It's not like they and the Nets and the Mets and the Brooklyn basketball team, all three of them were working with, giving money to some dude that I don't know what his position was, but to try to lift his mandate, and he ain't budge.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else to say?
It's never gonna seem fair. It's never gonna seem fair regardless of what's going on.
James is about to say something about that though. He's about to touch on that.
What? About what?
Sound like you was about to say something about like changing this whole like process so this wouldn't even be like this.
What do you mean?
I thought you was about to touch on something. I cut you off. My bad.
No, you good. Go ahead, Marlon. If I remember, I'll jump back in.
And I just say like nothing really seems fair in this process. It does seem everything seems isolated. Again, Kyrie is a scapegoat for all the blame on these things or just the attention. I said, if you're gonna have it one way, it needs to be that one way for everybody.
One way.
Like that's just the main purpose, the main goal. But
life ain't fair.
You can't move. Of course, but the goalpost never stays the same for everybody.
Nope.
I think Javon touched it though. This is not really a skin color thing. This is more so of a green thing.
Yeah, I think this is
always about the money.
It's about the money.
It's always about the money.
But who got the money?
But a lot of people don't. But a lot of people who have these platforms don't say it's about the money. They always target a person.
And why do they got the money?
Yeah. How did they get the money? Why did they get the money?
Boy, I did like a little history lesson.
On our backs.
I studied agriculture in college, boy. They did some shit.
Yeah.
Some shit.
Oh,
we talk about land. I was like, I know where the land came from.
Definitely.
And I know who got it. And I know who got subsidized for it. Shit's nuts.
Yep. Even when you think you own, you don't really own.
Nope.
Man.
It's crazy.
It is. We already know how lopsided this thing is. And you can sit here and find facts of validation, but I know the reason why that mandate was lifted. And it was for baseball, which is a very dominant white sport.
Yeah.
I said it. 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it.
Funny enough, like I think baseball is losing its luster. And
it's lost it for a long time. The youth
they lose it and get it back. They lose it and get it back.
Yeah, but guess what's happening in 2026?
Youth teams have folded.
Guess what's happening in 2026?
Guess what is happening in 2026?
The World Cup.
I'm I'm still not watching baseball.
The World Cup is happening in 2026, and the hosting countries, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. So it's going to be in all three countries at the same time. I was willing to bet that if baseball didn't get their shit together this year and they were out, by the time that happens, nobody's going to give a shit about baseball. The only thing that's saving baseball right now is the card collector community. People only give a shit because you look at all the prospects and it's like, oh, if I get this card, it's worth $3,000. Like, I'm going to watch this just to see if this guy does well.
Like, baseball has a decent following. It's like almost every sport, they have a huge following, but you know who's in the stands? Majority of the people.
Yeah, baseball's boring as fuck.
On TV.
Unless you're playing or drunk.
Unless you're playing.
Or you're there drunk.
Unless something happens, something it can't if you watch a no-hitter, two guys playing catch for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm watching Floyd boxing or something.
What you trying to say?
What you trying to say? I woke you up?
I think
you all right?
What are you trying to say?
I knew Ron was gonna be offended.
As much as I respect Floyd, he know I'm just messing around. He caught that. He bit on that. You feel me? You okay? You all right?
He bit on the jab.
Yeah.
You one hell of an actor. You saw what happened to Chris Rock.
I wish your ass would walk up on. Hey, I wish a nigga would walk up on my stage. I said, "Now, matter of fact, I walked down off the stage. You playing with me?"
Yeah,
we meet him halfway.
Yeah, but we're not gonna cancel Will because we're not gonna even talk about that shit.
Nah, we ain't gonna do
himself. He resigned, but that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole different other pod.
Oh
yeah,
Will
I got
made
some shit to say about that, man.
Will made them.
That's not even sports.
I was like, fam, they ain't do that shit to Harvey Weinstein for a minute.
Hey,
bro.
that is a sport. Getting slapped is a sport now. You got the game up.
In
it's
Russia,
a whole sport. So we can talk. We can discuss being
in Russia,
slapped.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about cheerleaders,
they got a women's division
on this joint. We can talk about it. If it's money making, all types.
I'll be watching that shit. You see
James,
what?
Listen to my voice, James.
Listen to my voice, James.
Yes, listen to my voice, James. Where can the people find you at?
Oh, YouTube, ASOS podcast. Like, y'all can come on at any time. We're looking for guests. I'm about to do a pod on the Lakers.
Not if it's a football team. Not if it's a football team. Okay.
Nah, I said the Lakers, fam.
Yo, you said anytime. You said anytime. Then you said the Lakers. So
you're not allowed on no more because you argue with everybody.
Yeah, I'm not doing the football thing no more.
What's wrong? You can't do football with them?
Nah. He got in a yelling match for like 20 minutes. It was funny.
Not
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not Thurman.
Yeah.
Come on.
Look, Thurgood was mad.
when y'all see that, Lord of the Rings guy, you would say the same thing.
Smeagol looking nigga.
Yeah, nah, he just talked about it because he got a lot of rings and shit on his hands. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, Maul, where can the people catch you at?
Well, if you're looking to buy, sell a house, look me up at Agent Maul on Instagram. And y'all can find me here Wednesdays with the Unbiased Sports Talk.
Yes, sir.
Host, you're going last. Y'all can find me at Capstone Performance. Okay. If you want more information, you can DM me at Coach Mills. You can find me on Instagram, baby.
You say Hove gotta go last. You can find me. I ain't gonna
give you the host. I said the host. I ain't call you no ho.
I ain't say ho. I said Hove. I know you ain't call me no ho. I would have reacted totally different than that. We would have hit leave. I'd have pulled up.
Don't call me no ho.
Yeah. West Side hoe. I ain't no regular hoe.
Where can they find you, boy?
Furniture around this month.
Where can they find you?
Man, you can find me on One Way Performance Training, JTM Cleaning, Unbiased Sports Talk. Look it up. Find me. DM me.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.